Boston Bruins have reportedly had their eyes on a former top prospect in Kailer Yamamoto. An addition that would be a very good one for this offseason and next season for this team. We're also going to be talking about Michael DiPietro, a guy who's really shown some success in the AHL, and what could be next for him with the addition of Joonas Korpisalo. I'm going to be talking about that, as well as some very important contract information from Jeremy Swayman. A report from Joe Haggerty mentioned that this contract might not be as high as we think. And this is all some very big stuff here that we need to talk about in this video. Before we get into it, though, we also 75% of you guys watching right now are not subscribed to the channel. If you're looking for a spot to get all of your Boston Bruins news, you're in the right spot. Hit the sub button, join me here on this channel as we cover everything that this team has to offer. And before we get into this, one more little thing. I do want to apologize for the audio in yesterday's video. For those who have seen us, I fixed it. I made a mistake with some things on my end, but if you haven't seen us, don't worry about it and don't go look. Only time I'm going to ask you not to watch a video. Leave it be, let it go, and we're good. We're back to normal here now today. But so just had to throw that out there beforehand. But let's get into our first topic here, which is the Bruins could be eyeing Kailer Yamamoto. In addition, that would be a pretty good one for the Boston Bruins. We know that there's a chance the Boston Bruins may want to add one more forward before the offseason is over. Whether that's from a free agency, whether that's internal, whatever they want to do, there's still a lot of unknown about Fabian Lysell, and a lot of that comes with needing to get him on the ice. However, if it don't work out, the Bruins want that safety blanket of having that extra forward on their roster. And I've mentioned a few already, but we still have some more on Kailer Yamamoto now, more reports coming out about him. And this is the first bit that we have to discuss. While the Bruins have a nice chunk of cap space left, most of it will be spent on Swayman's next deal. Because of this, the Bruins will likely need to add a bargain player if they hope to sign one more forward before the start of the season. And Kailer Yamamoto is a free agent who should grab their attention. And one of the ones that really has that experience, someone who has a lot of potential, still young, and having that uncertainty of what could happen in the rest of his career is really intriguing, especially for a team like the Boston Bruins, who could decide to, add a player like that, kind of what we've seen with a few other players, work on some other teams, and being able to put them into this lineup, have them work out, and just become, one of these players that you see for a long time, middle six kind of player who really just has a lot of success in that specific role. And Kailer Yamamoto absolutely could be that. And speaking of the roles that he could have with the Boston Bruins, if any signing does occur, this is what we have. Yamamoto has displayed previously that he can be a decent middle six forward when playing at his best. The Bruins entering next season with a hole at right wing, he may be worth taking a flyer on a cheap one-year deal. He also would provide the Bruins with another option for their top 9 if they feel prospect Fabian Lysell and Georgii Merkulov are not ready for the show yet. A PTO for Yamamoto could also be the avenue worth exploring. It worked out last season with Danton Heinen. And that's a prime example of why this could be such a, interesting move, is that we've seen that with Heinen, worked out very, very well. Unfortunately, not with the team now anymore, but a player that I personally wanted to see the Bruins keep. So maybe we see something like this with Kailer Yamamoto. Only time will tell. Still, we have a lot of time left in this offseason, and there's still a lot of players left. So the Bruins are definitely going to be, in my mind, looking through this list, seeing if they got anybody catch their eye, and Kailer Yamamoto could be one. But obviously, main priority here is Jeremy Swayman's next contract, and if they have to use every bit of that on him, so be it. But let's move on to our second topic here of this video, which is the Bruins goalie situation is actually A+. And a lot of people really aren't thinking about this with the contract situation for Jeremy Swayman right now, not having anything locked up. The addition of Joonas Korpisalo, but with those two and a lot more of this goaltending tandem that this organization has between Michael DiPietro and Brandon Bussi, this is a very, very good spot to be in that many teams don't have the luxury of really ever experiencing. And this is one that I kind of want to discuss as well a little bit here, going into, the next season. We really have a lot of uncertainty with Joonas Korpisalo, with Brandon Bussi, who will get that starting role in the AHL, who will get that backup in the NHL, still yet to be seen. And we are going to have to wait on that until the preseason, until, the camps and everything before the start of the season, to see who really has that hot hand at the moment. And I think that's kind of what we're going to see, is really who's feeling it right now, I guess is the best way to put it. But with this, what we have from Michael DiPietro, or not from Michael DiPietro, but on Michael DiPietro is here, not only earned a permanent spot in Providence in the 23-24 season, but it was also excellent in the process. In 30 appearances in the AHL squad, the Windsor, Ontario native posted a .918 save percentage and a .251 goals against. Overall, DiPietro formed a strong tandem with fellow Boston Bruins prospect Brandon Bussi, and he should not be overlooked. Another great point to point out here, that you can't overlook a guy like this. You know, we have really just kind of been speaking about, obviously, Swayman, the number one. Then we're going to have a little mismatch between Korpisalo and Brandon Bussi at 2, but it really takes just one injury to have a guy like Michael DiPietro involved in the conversation with the goalies, what we're going to see in the NHL. And I feel like this is one that a lot of teams could be watching. You know, the Bruins have 4 goalies that could play. Some may be moved, Jonas Korpisalo being in that conversation of being moved, but from the Bruins standpoint, they really have a great area to work with, whether that be trade negotiations, whether that be, you know, any type of situation that they need a bit of leverage using a goalie. They have that luxury. So, but Michael DiPietro is the guy that I still want to focus on. Could he be an NHL backup this season at any point? I'm going to say yes. You know, a kind of an odd one, but we still really don't know what's going to happen with Jonas Korpisalo. Is he going to be traded? Is he going to stay with this team? If he plays good, yeah, he's going to stay with the team. If he's not, he might be traded to a team who, you never know, their starter might get hurt. They need a goalie who can start games. That would be it. And then you never know with Bussi, and it could be a perfect situation for the Bruins no matter what happens, and it is. And that's what we want to see. Something that you don't really have to worry about. So keep an eye on all of these goalies here, especially Michael DiPietro, though, the guy who has not been spoken about the most of this goalie rotation that the Bruins have here. But let's head on to our final topic of this video, with this. Joe Haggerty suggests that Swayman is not going to be making a huge money compared to what we had thought, which is quite the interesting standpoint that we're at now, when we were thinking that in the playoffs, we've seen rumors and reports that he could be making upwards of 10, which would, personally, in my mind, be absolutely insane and never happen. But Joe Haggerty suggests that this might not even be the case at all and shouldn't even be thinking about it. And this is what he had to say. Swayman is not even close to comparable with Shesterkin and Winnipeg Jets netminder Connor Hellebyuck, who's making who's on term for 7 years and $59.5 million. At this point in his career, it's easy for many to simply say, just pay his money and hand him the $8 million for the 8 years, $64 million. You know, that will pay him $8 million per season. And undoubtedly, Swayman is in the good bargaining position with ex-goalie hug partner Linus Ullmark already shipped away to Ottawa. He goes on to say, really, that we might not see a contract that a lot of us were thinking. Kind of saying that, you know, the Shesterkin contract of 8, I don't know exactly what it is, 8 point something, and Connor Hellebuck's of 9.5, I believe. We're not going to see anything close to that. And yes, Swayman's going to make his money. He's absolutely going to deserve the money he gets, but the experience that he has is not up to par yet, I'm going to reiterate, yet, with the guys that were mentioned here, and the guys that are making that amount of money, and especially where he's not started 50 games in a season before, and he's really only been splitting games or splitting time in a season for the majority of his career. We still don't know and have that full confidence and certainty of a full season for Jeremy Swayman. So let me know what you think about this one. Quite an interesting one from Joe Haggerty, a guy who really covers the Bruins well and has, you know, a lot to say about them. But what do you think about the other topics as well? But I really want to know what you think about Jeremy Swayman. So that's all I got here in this video. If you did enjoy, give it a like, hit the sub button. Once again, I do apologize for yesterday's video. The audio was cooked. So I'm signing out. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.